Mr. Don Edkins, a very warm welcome to you, and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Now, tell us more about what the Last Shelter film is all about.
Well, it was good to see the trailer because it gives you a sense of where it was shot.
Okay.
The Last Shelter is really about people who are attempting to reach Europe along the irregular back routes through the desert, and those who have attempted but haven't managed it and are returning home. And it all takes place in this building in the town of Gao in central Mali, which is on the southern edge of the Saharan desert. And this building is called the House of Migrants. Mm-hmm. And here people are offered shelter, they're offered meals, and they're offered psychological support because these back routes are very dangerous, they're very arduous. And it's a place where they can meet each other and really get support.
Now, let's talk about some of the main reasons behind the making of this film.
One of the main reasons, the director, Ousmane Samassékou, he had an uncle who attempted to reach Europe some 30 years ago, was never heard from again. And so as the so-called migration crisis was happening in Europe, he started thinking about making a film on migration. And then he heard about our call for proposals. And we selected his project to come to our story development workshop in Ouagadougou with 15 other filmmakers. And there he met a journalist from Niger, Albert Chabou, who told him about the House of Migrants. And over the course of this workshop, he then developed a story that became what it is now.
Now, Don, I've mentioned in the intro that the film scored a local award. Just tell us more about this and what it says about the quality of this film.
Yeah, it won the Best African Film at the Encounters Documentary Film Festival. And because Encounters is, I would say, the leading documentary film festival on the continent, and the selection means that all the best films come to the Encounters Film Festival, that it wins the top award really affirms the quality of it. And just to say something more, because Gao is a red zone in Mali, Ousmane shot the film himself because no international crew was allowed to enter the city while he was making the film. So I think the quality of his filmmaking really stands out in this film, but also the way he developed trust amongst his characters and his main two protagonists, Esther and Kadi, who are teenage girls coming from Burkina Faso and attempting to reach Europe by crossing the Sahara Desert.
Let's talk about what the Generation Africa project's role in the making of this film.
So when we started Generation Africa, we were looking at the fact that Africa's got the largest youth population of any region in the world. And Africa's future is in the hands of its youth, but we very seldom hear the voices of young people. And as this migration crisis was taking place, we saw that many young people were involved, but yet their stories were not being told. And in fact, the narrative on migration was very much coming from a European perspective. And so we thought if we could get a collection of films told from inside Africa about migration, it would offer a very different perspective. And so we put out this call for proposals. We received over 180. And now, as I said, we've got 25 films from 16 countries across the continent that look at the futures of young people, their challenges, their opportunities, but through the lens of migration.
Okay, just unpack for us the issues and the themes that are explored in this film. I believe that migration is one of them, isn't it?
Well, migration is the main theme for sure, but it's also about family and the importance of family. Because in West Africa, migration is very much a family project. The family comes together, they select one of the youth in their family, give them money, and set them off on this back route. So for those who don't manage to reach Europe, for those who get turned back in the desert because of all the dangers involved, when they come home, they face stigma and discrimination. So it's about that as well. It's also about the fact that there's a lot of terrorism, Al-Qaeda in the deserts. How do people react to the abuses that they encounter? But a lot also about the mental health of people who are taking these routes, the kind of psychological traumas that they endure, and what happens to them, and what kind of support do they need.
All right, great chatting to you, Don. And I do believe that audiences will have a chance to watch the film at the Durban International Festival. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
A pleasure. Thank you so much.
That was Don Edkins. He's one of the producers of the Last Shelter film, and we've been speaking to him about the movie winning an Encounters Award and it heading to the Durban Film Festival later on this month.
Nous, on accueille des migrants ici de tout genre, qu'ils soient en partance ou de retour.
Tout